Exactly a week ago, Manny Pacquiao announced his retirement from the sport of boxing. Ryan, we get to hear the saying, timing is everything every once in a while. But like any individual, Manny has his personal goals, and it's normal for any regular person to pursue what he desires the most. However, it's a crucial and tricky time for Philippine boxing. Number one, ALA Promotions is no longer around. You can really say that boxing events in the Philippines are in full swing because promoters have to go to cities and provinces with lesser restrictions. Other boxers would have to fly to the US and stay there and actually wait for a fight. In short, we cannot stop Manny Pacquiao from chasing what he wants to do or accomplish. But can you say that he retired at a time where Philippine boxing needed him the most?
No, I think that boxing, particularly boxing in the Philippines, is always going to be about more than just one fighter. Pacquiao occupied a large space in Philippine boxing, obviously because he's one of the greatest fighters who's ever lived. But I think that this is a moment of great opportunity for other Filipinos because so many other Filipino boxers were living in his shadow. Now, Nonito Donaire Jr., he was an amazing talent. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. But imagine if Pacquiao wasn't around. I think he would have been a bigger star. But, Pacquiao occupied so much space there. Now is an opportunity for fighters like Joe Cajas, Mark Magsayo, John Real Casimero to step up and try to fill that void. This is where they need to start showing that there's a power vacuum. They have to fill that vacuum. So no, I don't think Philippine boxing needs Pacquiao. I think that his time has come and gone, and now let the next era begin.
Speaking of that, Manny Pacquiao obviously leaves a big void. Do you think Philippine boxing has prepared for itself for this new chapter of the industry?
Sure. I mean, I think on the business side, probably not as much because I think that you're going to have television stations or whatever the next medium is that people get their watch their boxing on. I think they need to step up their game and start a grassroots program of introducing people to the fighters. Like back in the day, there used to be blow by blow, right? Which you used to show a lot of the upcoming fighters. I think we can go even further down the rabbit hole and start showing grassroots amateur boxing. I would love to see Palomong Pambansa boxing, for instance. I would love to see Batang Pinoy boxing. That level of boxing introduced because a lot of the great fighters came from those programs. So if we can get people invested in their stories and show that these are guys who have been working hard for all these years, and then when it comes time for them to fight for the championship, we know who they all are. Manny Pacquiao was a star in the Philippines before he went to America. Why is that not the norm anymore? Now it's like, a guy has to go to America and become something, or else no one cares. Like like Joe Cajas was like the longest. It was like an overnight success that took like 10, 15 years to the longest night of his life. So I think that's where we need to see improvement is on how we get the information to the people because the fighters are going to fight.
Speaking of, you mentioned that it has been a one-man show for quite a while, but a lot of people feel that Philippine boxing is heading back to dormancy. But to be honest, I don't recall that Philippine boxing was ever dormant even before Manny Pacquiao rose to stardom. But who do you feel that will become the next poster boy of Philippine boxing?
I mean, that's tough to say. There may not be a poster boy of Philippine boxing. We may see like different fighters sprouting out, and this person will be getting his attention. Like in the 90s, we had Jerry Peñalosa, we had Luisito Espinosa. There was no central figure, and I think that can be okay. I don't think that we need to have like this sort of like personality cult around a single fighter. And, I think that we can enjoy that. Boxing has been this preferred path for a lot of young people to rise up and try to improve their socioeconomic standing. I think that, we can see someone like Joe Cajas. I would like to see him step up and fight one of the top 115-pound fighters. Win or lose, he can do something. And I think that he can it enhances reputation. General Casimiro is not afraid of anyone. I think he'd fight Godzilla if money was right.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think the money had to be right. I think you just find anything. But I think that's the kind of I want to see these people step up and show that, hey, listen, I'm putting Philippine boxing on my back, and let's see some friendly rivalries emerge.
Ryan, you mentioned about the time when we had Jerry Peñalosa, Luis Espinosa. Now it's let's coin it the new collective. Do you think it's more interesting now because you have John Riel Casimero who's embracing the anti-hero persona, and now fighters are not afraid to call out each other and engage into Filipino versus Filipino affairs?
I love it, actually. I was one of those early proponents back when it was like kind of taboo for Filipinos to fight each other. I said, how can you be the world champion if you're not even the champion of the Philippines yet? So I remember when Casimero I was sitting at the table with him at one of the Alorde Awards events, and he's like, Cajas is on the other side of the table. He's like, I want to fight that guy. And like, I was like, yeah, I'll put that on video. Let's talk about that. That's awesome.
I believe that it was in 2017.
It may have been, yeah. I just love it because I think that this is the kind of spirit that has to be in boxing. It's not like, oh, we're all buddy. I think that sort of mentality hurts boxing. I think you have to be a savage. You're like, listen, yeah, I'm a champion, whatever, but we're both from the same country. But if it's me or you, hey, it's gonna be me. It's like the NSYNC song goes. So I would love to see that more. I think I think Casimero is a really fun personality for boxing in the Philippines. I think that he's being himself. This is really who he is. Anyone who's known him all these years knows he's this kind of crazy guy. And I think that the getting out of this mold of the clone Filipino boxer, like, yes, who do you want to fight? Whoever my promoter says. I don't care who your promoter says. I'm not interviewing your promoter. I'm interviewing you. You tell me who you want to fight. You want to get paid or not, huh? You do your talking in the ring. You know what? You're not going to do your counting at the bank.